Namaste. Welcome to Zeel's Astrology, your new go-to channel for all things Vedic astrology. Now for the month of August, Mercury is currently transiting the sign of Leo and will go retro on August 5 and will re-enter the sign of Cancer in retro motion on August 22. First of all, I will mention the dates of the transits and provide a brief explanation on them. So Venus will enter the sign of Leo on July 31. Sun, which is currently transiting the sign of Cancer, will enter the sign of Leo, its own sign, on August 16. Venus will enter the sign of Virgo on August 25, and Mars is currently transiting the sign of Taurus in conjunction with Jupiter. Here, Mars will also aspect the sign of Leo, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. Mars will then enter the sign of Gemini on August 26. To explain in simple words, for Mars, Taurus is like a vacation home or a place where a soldier is asked to stop fighting, put down his weapons, and enjoy the luxuries. It is not a completely comfortable position for Mars. However, the aggressive attitude and energy of Mars, along with the guidance of Jupiter, can help you initiate something new. As per Kal Purush Kundli, the fourth aspect of Mars will fall on the fifth house in the sign of Leo, which can create some stress, anger, and ego issues with your children, especially after the 16th of August when Sun also enters the sign of Leo. This will double the fire since Leo is a fiery sign. Even as per Kal Purush Kundli, Mars's aspect, which falls on Leo in the fifth house and Scorpio in the eighth house, can create some sudden ups and downs in your speculative investments. So be careful with your investments in the stock market. As per Kal Purush, Mars's eighth aspect, which falls on the ninth house in the sign of Sagittarius, this can create some issues with your gurus, your teachers, and also with your father. This can also give some health issues to your father as well. Since Mars is in the sign of Taurus in the second house, be very careful with your speech. Even after August 26, when Mars enters the sign of Gemini, the third house, as per the Kal Purusha, be very careful and mindful of what you speak, as your speech can have a major impact on various aspects of your life, either positively or negatively, depending on your personal chart. Try to avoid eating tamasic food. Now, as mentioned earlier, Sun is currently transiting the sign of Cancer until August 16. On August 16, it will move into the sign of Leo, its own sign. When Sun enters Leo, Venus and Mercury will also be present there in the sign of Leo. And Mercury will get combust for a brief period of time. The combination of these three planets will increase your creativity and encourage you to learn something new or upgrade your skills. You might also indulge in romantic relationships. Those involved in theater, arts, and the entertainment industry will see improvements in their work area and skills during this time. However, these three planets, that is Sun, Venus, and Mercury, will be aspecting the sign of Aquarius and retro Saturn in 11th house. And retro Saturn will also aspect them directly. So basically, Sun and Saturn in opposition with each other can create issues with higher authorities. And Saturn's retro aspect on Leo will monitor the actions of these three planets. So overconfidence or overindulgence in certain things can create problems for you. As mentioned earlier, here in the sign of Leo, Mercury will go retro on August 5th. I would mention this again, that the retro Mercury in Leo, Sun in Leo, and Mars's aspect on Leo can create issues with your children, either health issues, arguments, or ego clashes. This period can also make your speech harsher, leading to attempts to dominate others through words. There will be a strong urge to gain knowledge and learn something new. But on a negative side, retro Mercury in Leo. Venus and Sun in Leo can lead to overindulgence in affairs and can give overconfidence in making large speculative investments. Be very careful with your investments, as Mars and Saturn are also influencing Leo, which could result in negative outcomes later on. One more thing with these three planets in Leo, you might want to make various important decisions. However, you might not be very clear about what you want to do. When you haphazardly decide on taking any decision, it might be hindered by Ketu, because Ketu is sitting right in the next house in the sign of Virgo. Ketu won't support such decisions. When retrograde Mercury re-enters the sign of Cancer, you might feel more sensitive and emotional. It is essential to be logical and practical while making decisions in your life rather than letting emotions drive your choices. This is especially important when making career-related decisions. On the 25th of August, Venus will enter the sign of Virgo, its debilitation sign, in conjunction with Ketu. First of all, talking about Ketu in Virgo, Virgo, Taurus and Capricorn are in trine with each other. So until the 25th of August, while Mars is in the sign of Taurus, be careful while driving or cooking, as small accidents may happen during this time period. The Venus-Ketu conjunction can create some dissatisfaction in your routine life, job and relationships, as Venus in 12th is 12th from Libra, its own sign, and in conjunction with Ketu. This can cause issues in marriage and issues with women. Since the dispositor of Ketu, that is Mercury, will be retro in the sign of Leo for some time and then in the sign of Cancer, this can create serious emotional ups and downs. You might feel less clarity and directionless. On one hand, you want to be emotional, on the other hand, you want to be logical and practical, leading to various weird confusion of things. Now, the aspect of Venus will fall on the sign of Pisces, where Rahu is located. In Kalpurusha, Pisces falls in the 12th house. The positive aspects of Venus will give slight relief to aspects related to the 12th house. For example, those who are having sleep issues might get slight relief during this period. However, this won't be much effective because Venus will be 12th from its own sign and debilitated in the sign of Virgo. Before we jump to the ascendant wise analysis, if you find this video interesting, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends and family, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to hit the bell icon. For online paid consultations, please drop me an email. My email address is provided in the description box below. Now let's jump to the ascendant wise analysis. For Aries ascendant, your speech may tend to get harsher during this time period. Eat the right food. For people in creative and artistic fields, there will be an enhancement in creativity and imagination. Take care of your children's health. Try not to dominate your thoughts over your children, especially after 16th of August when Sun enters the sign of Leo, as it can create differences between you and your children. With Sun in Cancer until 15th of August, this position will give you the necessary insights on issues of public or people surrounding you. You will be able to understand and work on certain situations which needs both emotional as well as practical understanding. It will shed light on the both positive and negative aspects in your career and how you can improve in a better manner. You can also gain benefits from government as well. There can be issues in your relationships when Venus enters the sign of Virgo on the 25th of August. Be calm and patient and try not to make any major decisions related to your relationships after Venus enters Virgo, because this is just a matter of less than a month before Venus moves to its own sign, that is Libra, on September 18. On the 19th of August, the Sun and retrograde Mercury will be in a very tight conjunction at 2 degrees, which is near the Gandanta point between Cancer and Leo. This may create some mental stress or anxiety for some people and can also lead to outburst of emotions or anger. Try to keep yourself as calm and patient as possible. With Venus, Sun and Mercury in the sign of Leo and Rahu in the 12th house, there may be a tendency to indulge in romantic relationships. Be cautious while indulging in such activities because retrograde Saturn sitting in your 11th house in the sign of Aquarius is directly aspecting the sign of Leo. On the other hand, Ketu is sitting right next to Leo in the sign of Virgo. These two planets, that is retrograde Saturn and Ketu, are quite powerful and can stop you from indulging in such activities or may even result in bad breakup, especially after Venus enters the sign of Virgo in conjunction with Ketu. However, with Venus in Virgo aspecting the sign of Pisces, your 12th house, this may provide a slight relief from sleep disorders or any kind of issues indicated by 12th house. It's a good time to learn something new and gain knowledge. After the 25th of August, there can be issues with your father or his health, and there can also be issues with authorities at your job. Now, for Taurus Ascendant, Mars being your 12th Lord sitting in your first house can create some health issues. After the 26th of August, when Mars enters the sign of Gemini, your second house, be cautious of your speech. Try to avoid tamasic food as much as possible. With Mars in your first house, it can also create some issues in your relationships as Mars will be aspecting your 7th house, the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio is currently going through many things simultaneously with Jupiter, Rahu and retrograde Saturn also aspecting Scorpio, that is your 7th house. With the additional aspect of Mars on your 7th house, this can create more ups and downs in your personal life during this time frame. Be very practical and wise while dealing in your business profession. Don't be harsh in your speech, whether in your personal relationships or business relationships. Mars in your first house aspecting your 8th house can also create some issues with your in-laws. And be very wise while investing in stock market. Sudden ups and downs should be expected as your 8th Lord Jupiter is in your first house. And your 12th Lord Mars is in your first house aspecting your 8th house. Take care of your father's health and your relationship with your father after Mars enters the sign of Gemini. With a Sun in your 3rd house in the sign of Cancer, until 15th of August, your communication and speech delivering ability will boost. It can give you necessary strength and self-confidence to initiate and also to improve your skills. However, conflicts with your younger siblings may happen and property-related disputes may come to light. With Sun, Venus and retro Mercury in Leo and retro Saturn aspecting these three planets, you can have issues with authorities at your job, and you can have ego issues with your mother and your family. Be cautious of online scams as Rahu is sitting in your 11th house. Jupiter and Mars in your first house can make you self-centered. However, this can give you the necessary strength in your personality to initiate something new. For Gemini ascendants, be cautious while driving as there might be a risk of minor accidents. Be careful of what you speak. Try not to be too much commanding in your speech or behavior, especially when you're with your family until Sun is in the sign of Cancer. With Sun, Mercury and Venus in your 3rd house, you may develop or enhance skills related to your hands. The Sun in its own sign of Leo will provide you with the courage and self-confidence you need. However, this placement might also lead to ego conflicts with your younger siblings, and you may struggle with how to handle these situations. Your mother may face some health issues, and when Venus will enter the sign of Virgo after August 25, it can also create some issues related to your children because Venus is your fifth lord and will be 12th from itself in conjunction with Ketu. However, with Venus aspecting your 10th house can provide financial betterment for you. Take care of your father's and siblings' health as Sun and Saturn will be in opposition with each other. However, there can be opportunities for religious travel. After 26th of July, when Mars will enter the sign of Gemini, your first house, this may create some relationship issues but will also provide financial betterment as Mars, being your 11th lord, will be in your first house and Venus will be aspecting your 10th house. But just be cautious with your health for the month of August as Mars will be in your 12th house for almost 26 days in the month of August. Now for Cancer ascendants, your second lord, Sun, is currently transiting your first house. You will feel very powerful and energetic until Sun is in the sign of Cancer. Your personality will reflect among others. With Sun in your first house, it will throw light on your seventh house. This light will show you the both positive and negative aspects relating to your seventh house. Only you should be wise enough to learn from that and work on it. However, Sun in first house may also increase your anger and ego. So try to be as grounded as possible. On 16th of August, Sun will be transiting Leo, your second house. Since your 12th Lord Mercury is transiting your second house along with Sun and Venus and also rules your third house, you might experience increased expenses or losses. Or you could incur expenses on your family. Be cautious with your spending as the energy of retro Mercury will be more intense. Avoid imposing your decisions on your family or being overly dominant towards them. As Sun in your second house can create such scenarios. Be careful of your mother's health after 25th of August. That is when your fourth lord Venus will be transiting Virgo, 12th from its own sign. For Cancer ascendant, since Saturn is transiting your 8th house, be careful of your health. I have already mentioned this in my earlier video on Saturn's retrogression, that you need to be careful about your health and you also need to be careful of fake gurus. However, there can be long spiritual journeys for Cancer people. With Jupiter and Mars in your 11th house, a good time for financial gains. When Mars, being your 10th lord, will enter the sign of Gemini, your 12th house, on 26th of August, it may create some issues with higher authorities. Try not to indulge in any sort of arguments with higher authorities at your career, at your job, as it may create problems for you. Now for Leo ascendant people, Mars will be transiting your 10th house along with Jupiter until the 26th of August. And after that, it will enter the sign of Gemini, your 11th house. Jupiter is currently transiting your 10th house, Taurus. And Mars will also be transiting Taurus until 26th of August. There can be sudden ups and downs in your career. However, Mars can give you necessary courage to fight the obstacles in your career. This combination can give you the strength to complete new tasks assigned to you. On 26th of August, Mars will leave the sign of Taurus and enter your 11th house in the sign of Gemini. Mars in both the 10th house, that is Taurus, and the 11th house, that is Gemini, can elevate your self-pride or ego to higher levels in your career. The positions of Sun, Venus, and retro Mercury in your first house in Leo can also play a role in expanding your ego. Therefore, try to be as humble and as grounded as much as possible. With Jupiter and Mars in the 10th house and Sun, Venus, and retro Mercury in your first house, you may gain name and fame in your career. As mentioned in my earlier videos on Rahu and Saturn, beware of health issues. However, your first lord, Sun, which is currently transiting your 12th house in Cancer, may give some health challenges and confusion. You might even overthink too much, which can disturb your sleep. So try to keep yourself calm. A positive time for those who are into healing or foreign trade. When Sun will enter the sign of Leo, its own first house, on 16th of August, this will give you the necessary courage and power to improve your health. It will enhance your personality. From 25th of August, Venus will enter the sign of Virgo, your second house. Try to invest your money in something essential during this time frame. However, you may incur expenses for your younger siblings since Ketu is in conjunction with Venus. This may create differences with your younger siblings as well. Be very wise while investing in the stock market as Rahu is currently transiting your 8th house. For Virgo ascendant, Jupiter and Mars will be transiting your 9th house, the sign of Taurus. This will create opportunities for you to travel to a religious place. Mars can give you the necessary courage to undertake long and challenging journeys, such as hiking to a temple on a mountain. However, when Mars enters the sign of Gemini on the 26th of August, it can create some ups and downs in your career, but will also help you overcome those issues. Just avoid engaging in unnecessary arguments with top authorities at your job. Now, Sun is currently transiting your 11th house in the sign of Cancer, and Sun rules your 12th house. So, Sun is right now transiting 12th from 12th, which is loss of your losses. So, good for materialistic gains. This will favor you more in positive manner when you help someone needy. However, there are certain negative traits as well. This can give you ego issues with your elder siblings or your friends, or you might be insulted by them. Consequently, you might feel the urge to isolate yourself from these people. When Sun enters the sign of Leo, Venus and retro Mercury will already be present there, and these three planets in your 12th house will enhance your imagination. It is a favorable position for those in creative or artistic fields. Your 10th Lord Mercury in Leo, along with the Sun and Venus, combined with Mars and Gemini, can provide you with the creativity needed to achieve your career goals. Mars will give you the strength to accomplish them. However, this combination can create some sleep issues for you. Take care of your health and your family's health, especially after 25th of August when Venus will enter your first house in conjunction with Ketu. Venus, being your second lord, may bring issues with your family either through arguments or health problems. Positive aspect of Venus on your 7th house and Rahu can bring marriage opportunities or new business ideas. This aspect of Venus can offer a diplomatic and practical approach to dealing with the public in your business. Again, be cautious with your health and your parents' health. For Libra ascendant, Mars transiting in Taurus in conjunction with Jupiter might bring sudden ups and downs in your marriage as Mars is your 7th lord. However, the positive influence of Jupiter could mitigate some of these challenges. After August 26, when Mars will enter the sign of Gemini, your 9th house, try to be liberal and humble when it comes to spirituality or religion. Mars in your 8th house could create minor issues with your in-laws. This can also give health issues to your spouse. Currently, Sun is transiting your 10th house in Cancer sign. Very good time regarding career, and after August 16 it will enter Leo, joining Venus and retro Mercury. This period could be favorable for financial gains. Try not to be overindulging while earning money as Saturn is watching your 11th house. Saturn can restrict you if you try to overdo certain things. From August 25, Venus will enter Virgo, your 12th house. As Venus is your first lord, this transit could lead to doubts and confusion if its influence turns negative in your chart. However, it's a good time for those in healing professions such as doctors or medical practitioners. This period is also ideal for spiritual pursuits. Although Venus in your 12th house along with Ketu may ask you to sacrifice something in order to achieve something. However, I personally believe that it won't be that negative because Jupiter is also aspecting your 12th house. Venus may give some health issues. Don't indulge in alcohol if possible. Venus aspecting your 6th house from 12th house can give you positive results, specifically to those who are appearing for competitive exams or those who are suffering from some ailments. Although Ketu in your 12th house will give you sleepless nights, since Saturn is transiting your 5th house, take care of your children and their health and invest wisely in stock market. For Scorpio ascendants, Jupiter and Mars transiting your 7th house might lead to ego issues in your marriage, as both Jupiter and marriage represents ego. Avoid being overly dominant or imposing your thoughts on your spouse, as this combination can also result in anger issues. Try to remain as humble and patient as possible. But those who are searching for a life partner may find one during this time frame. Basically, a good time for marriage. After August 26, when Mars comes to Gemini, you may face challenges with your in-laws. Additionally, with Rahu transiting your 5th house and Mars in your 8th house, exercise caution with speculative investments. Mars in the 8th house can lead to impulsive investment decisions that may backfire, especially since Rahu is also influencing your 5th house. Be prudent with investments in the stock market or any speculative ventures. The presence of both your 1st and 6th lord in the 8th house may bring sudden events, so be prepared for unexpected developments. Currently, Sun is transiting your 9th house in the sign of Cancer. A very good time for spiritual practices. It might provide strength to your father's health, but it could also create ego issues with him. After August 16, it will enter Leo and your 10th house, and it will join Mercury and Venus. It could be favorable time for financial gains and career progress. Avoid arguments with job authorities and maintain diplomacy in your workplace, and do not be harsh in your speech. After August 25, Venus will be entering the sign of Virgo, your 11th house, and will be joining Ketu there. Venus, your 12th lord, will be 12th from its own sign. With this situation, you may want to stay isolated from your friends, your elder siblings, or from the society. There can be disputes with your friends or elder siblings. However, Jupiter is transiting your 7th house, aspecting your 11th house. So there can be financial gains from your spouse and also in your career. I have covered details about retro Saturn in Purva Bhadrapada and Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapada in my previous video, which you might find useful. Take care of your mother's health. Buying a properties on cards for Scorpio natives. Take care of your children, take care of your health, and also ensure you are wise with your investments in speculative markets. For Sagittarius ascendant, Jupiter and Mars is currently transiting your 6th house, the house that represents your routine life, your prarabdha, competition, job. It's a very good combination for competition or winning over your enemies. However, your routine life may be affected due to your children, as Mars is your 5th lord. And you may face sleep issues as Mars will be aspecting your 12th house. It's a good time for those preparing for competitive exams. Minor health issues can come to surface. Now after August 26, Mars will be entering the sign of Gemini. This can create anger issues in your relationships, in your marriage, and also in your business. Try to control your anger as much as possible and avoid being too domineering. Sun is currently transiting your 8th house in the sign of Cancer. The light of Sun will bring out many secrets that you need to know regarding your life. A good time for occult sciences or for research work. There can be sudden travel as well. And after August 16, when Sun will enter its own sign of Leo in your 9th house, there it will join retro Mercury and Venus. Your father will see positive results in terms of his health when Sun will enter the sign of Leo. However, Saturn is watching the sign of Leo, so positive effects might slightly be reduced. Anger issues, ego issues with your father are likely to happen. Spiritual long journeys are on cards, a good time for those who want to pursue for higher studies. After August 25, Venus will be entering the sign of Virgo and will be joining Ketu. This combination may lead you to consider quitting your job or changing your career. I would suggest being patient and wise while making any major career decision. For Capricorn Ascendant, Jupiter and Mars both are currently transiting your 5th house. Naturally, Jupiter is considered as Karaka of 5th house. So a good position for Jupiter. With Mars joining Jupiter, your children can do some courageous acts. With Jupiter, Mars in your 5th house, your children may excel in studies. Even your mother can act as a guiding force for you in making decisions, as Mars is your 4th lord. This is a favorable time for learning something new and having courage to make significant decisions. Good time for mantra chanting. However, while making decisions, rely on Jupiter's wisdom rather than Mars's impulsiveness. Here after August 26, Mars will enter the sign of Gemini, your 6th house. It's a good position for competitive exams. It's a good time to overcome your obstacles, your enemies. However, this position can create some health issues, minor health issues for you and your mother, and be cautious while traveling or while driving a vehicle. Now, Sun is currently transiting your 7th house in the sign of Cancer. Try not to dominate or argue with your spouse as it can create major misunderstandings between both of you. After 16th of August, it will be transiting your 8th house in the sign of Leo. As mentioned earlier, be cautious of your health issues. With Sun, Venus and retro Mercury in your 8th house, it can create slight issues with your in-laws. Maybe financial issues with them. One can also do research work during this time period. Very good time for speculative gains, but be cautious while investing in stock market when Mercury goes retrograde. Now after 25th of August, Venus will enter the sign of Virgo and will be joining Ketu there. It's the best time for spirituality. Spiritual journeys may happen. Your father may face health issues, maybe because of workload in his career. For Aquarius Ascendant people, Jupiter and Mars are currently transiting your 4th house. Since Jupiter is in your 4th house, your mother can act as a guiding force for you. Even your younger siblings can act as a guiding force for you. As mentioned in my earlier video on Saturn's retrogression in Purva Bhadrapad Nakshatra, try to communicate your feelings with someone you trust. Do not keep yourself isolated from people. You may incur expenses on your family. After August 26, Mars will enter the sign of Gemini, your 5th house. Your children's behavior or your behavior towards your children might become aggressive and harsh during this time frame. You have to be calm and patient with them. Mars will then aspect your 12th house, which might cause sleep issues. Sun is currently transiting the sign of Cancer. Here it will throw light on many minor health issues you have, or any issues relating to your sixth house. So that you can start working on resolving them. Your enemies may also increase during this time period. After 16th of August, Sun will enter the sign of Leo, your seventh house, joining Venus and retrograde Mercury. Here, Sun and Saturn in opposition with each other will give major events in your life, which will include both you and your spouse. So be prepared for that. Mercury, your eighth lord, is retrograde in your seventh house. And after the 27th or 22nd of August, it will be re-entering the sign of Cancer. It could cause health issues for both you and your spouse. There may also be significant issues with your in-laws and family. So it's crucial to remain grounded in your relationships. Venus and Ketu in your 8th house could lead to health issues for your father. Think twice before investing in joint assets, speculative markets, and property. Aquarius ascendants should also take extra care for their health, as Saturn is retrograde in their first house and Ketu is transiting your 8th house. For Pisces ascendant, Jupiter and Mars are currently transiting your third house in the sign of Taurus. With Mars in your third house, this can create some little issues with your younger siblings. However, this combination can give you courage to initiate something new. Family can play a major role in your initiation. Your family will act as a guiding force for you. Now, after August 26, Mars will enter the sign of Gemini, your fourth house. This can create some health issues and some disputes with your mother. So take care of that. Now, Sun is currently transiting your fifth house, that is Cancer. Be ready to learn, be it lessons of life or some new skills. This position of Sun can give you confidence in intellectual areas. Your creativity will increase, but try not to show off the pride of your knowledge. Sun will enter the sign of Leo on August 16 in your sixth house with Venus and Mercury. During this period, try to avoid conflicts as much as possible. There may be changes or fluctuations in your routine life. Your communication will be crucial. So strive to be as humble and as grounded as possible to prevent misunderstandings. After August 25, Venus will enter the sign of Virgo in your seventh house and will be joining Ketu there. There could be ups and downs in your marriage or relationships and fluctuations in your business. So try to wisely manage these areas.